Hello guys, welcome to the Code to Coffee, and today we are going to learn a very interesting problem, subset of string. Okay, so the problem statement is will be given an string. We need to find out all the possible subset. Okay, so if you closely observe here, also we need to return the null or the empty string, right? Let's discuss. There are multiple approaches. We'll discuss one by one. Okay, and we'll start with the recursive approach. Okay, recursive. In recursive approach, what we do, we will have the problem and a bigger problem, right? And we will solve in a smaller problem. So we'll divide big problem into the small problem recursively, right? This is our approach in the recursive. To solve this problem A, B, C, let's say we have A, B, C. How we can solve? Okay. For example, let's say we have one small problem that is AB. What will be the subset? The subset will be empty string and A and B, then AB, right? Like this. Or maybe if we have A, then what will be the subset? Subset will be empty, then A, like this, right? If you closely observe, so these two things, like how we can get this? So because we have A, the subset of A is empty and A. If we concat with the B, right? If we concat with the whatever we are getting for the A, if you concat with the B, right? So our subset will be something like this. We can imagine because this empty and A is for the A, right? This is for the A. And now we are going to concat with the B whatever we got for the A. So we'll concat empty plus A, sorry, empty plus B, that will be B. Now we'll concat A plus B, that will be AB. So you can see this is nothing but the subset, exactly what we got here, right? The same approach we are going to apply here. Okay, how are we going to get? Let's say we will solve this one problem as a small. Okay, so we'll consider it a other problem, recursive smaller problem. Okay, for now we can say, okay, this is our first. Okay, and this is our second or maybe rest. Okay, so to solve this problem we should have something like whatever the first will get, right? The first and the will concat A plus the subset of BC, like this. Okay, and the solution will be here like when we calculate the BC, we can do like, okay, B then B plus subset of C. Okay, and the subset of C will be like C plus subset of empty string, like this. Okay, so when we'll get this empty string, okay, this we could have the base condition. Okay, so our base condition will be if character, or maybe you can say I, equal to empty string, right? In that case we will return simply the array of empty string, like this. So this is going to when we'll call this as empty, it will return the array of empty. Okay, now array of empty we got, so what will be the final solution at this point? And observe like this. Okay, first we are getting from the whatever we got like empty, this is the empty, then we concat empty plus C, so then it will become empty plus C, like this, right? So this is going to return like empty and the C. So this is we return here. Now whatever we got here, that we are going to return here like empty. Then the C, then B plus empty, that will be B, then B plus C, that will be BC, right? And this is we are returning at this point. And here if you see empty, then C, then B, then BC, exactly same. Now we'll concat with the A. So A plus empty, that is the A, and A plus C, that is the AC, then A plus B, that is the AB, then A plus BC, that will be ABC, and this is what will return to our functions, right? So that is how we are going to do in our code. Don't confuse with what we are doing here. We are just saying, okay, this is our first, and similarly here we are doing this first plus whatever the rest we are getting. So the logic is the first plus the subset of the recursive. Let's say rest. So and one more thing is just a recursive. So these two things will be combined into one array. Okay, let's code this one. Okay, so we have this string. We'll create one function. Let me just print fmt dot print. I will call subset the recursive approach passing the string. Okay, let's define this function. The subset recursive that will going to have the string, and this will return array of string, right? Yeah. Now first we'll code the base condition, right? Base. Then we'll use the recursive solution. Okay. Then we will combine the solution. Combining solution means concatenating the first with the whatever we got from our smaller problem, right? Like this. And this is our base condition. Okay. Now the base condition is if s equal to empty, right? Then in that case we can simply return, okay, array of string, the value empty, like this. Okay, what is the recursive solution? So because how we are doing, for before the recursive solution, what you can say, okay, our first will be first, first will be the string of first character, right? 0th character, and the rest will be, how the rest will be getting, will be rest getting by the recursive call. So we'll say, okay, rest will be a subset of recursive with 1, right? 1 means we are just leaving the first index, rest of the index from the first index, everything will be considered the rest, right? What I'm trying to say, if it is our string ABC, this is at the 0th position that we already kept in first variable, right? First. And how we'll get these things? We can do like first, then everything. Right here we do not need to define. So if you're doing like this, it will give the BC. Okay, this is what we are doing here. Okay. Now we'll do combine. So before combine, we can define one array of string. So let's say SS array, and that will have array of string, right, with no value. Okay, now uh, how we can combine? We'll just say, okay, whatever the first, okay, that we are going to combine with whatever we are getting into the rest, right? So before doing that thing, how we can do it? So we can have one for loop for um I, maybe we are not going to use the key. We just need the value, right, from the range of rest, right? And every time we are going to append everything into the SS array. So how we could do the SS array equal to append of SS array with the value. Okay, the first thing we done like this. Now the second thing, how what we'll do, we'll append the concat the first with the whatever we're getting with the subset. I mean the with the recursive. Similarly, we can also do. Let me just copy this, and here we'll do first plus value. This is how we can do, and we can return the SS array like this. Okay. Let's run this here, and subset dot go. Okay. So we can see we are getting all the combination. Even we are getting the empty string, but we couldn't see here. Okay. So what we can do, instead of returning um, empty, right? Empty, and say, okay, let's return the null. Okay, just for visualization purpose. So for that thing, what we can do? Okay, so in case of first time, I mean the first time when it is calling, first time it is calling, that time we can just check that if it is the, I mean the first time, then we can say, okay, instead of appending empty, we can append the null, right? We cannot do for the everything, because if we will return the null here, it will start like b plus null. That we don't want. We want here only at this stage. How we can say? Because every time we are just calculating, going to the recursive, the I value, the indexes value is getting increased, right? For example, here is the I equal to 0, then here will be I equal to 1, right? Like this, and I equal to 3. So we can use this pattern. We can just check if I equal to 0 and string, uh, if value, okay, if the value equal to empty, then we will append only null, okay, like this. So let's code this one, and for that thing what you can do, we can also send the one index value, right? Here we can say, okay, I of integer. Every time whenever we are calling this subset recursive, we can just do the I plus plus. Okay, error. A second. Okay, why this? Okay, but what we can do, we can do I plus 1. And here, while appending, check if I equal to 0, the p equal to empty, in that case, use this one. Otherwise, right? Then simply when whatever we are getting, right? Like this. Let's run this. Cool. So yeah, now we can understand. Okay, we are also having the empty value, right? Like this. Okay, so that's how I mean we can calculate the subset using the recursion. Okay, let's discuss in this case if you closely observe, right? Every time we are calling the subset, okay, and how many times will we are going to call? We are going to call the how many indexes, the how many character is in our string, right? So that's mean every time we are calling based on the number of characters. So number of character is three, right? Number of character is three, and if you see what are the calling. So first call is this, second, I mean two, three, four, right? Like this. Similarly, also what we are doing here, we are appending, right? Every time this for loop is also we are doing, right? That's mean this is nothing but uh, the the whatever the value will get into this rest after the calculation of this, that time also we are performing. So two thing will be considered while uh, time complexity calculation. First thing, how many times we are calling the recursive, and how we are processing after getting the value, right? So value we can say the n, right? N. So we can say okay, the time complexity will be n. Then because this is going to the power n time, right? To the power n level. Here we are calling four times, right? One, two, three, four, and which is nothing but if we will have like four, if we will have the four, every time it will go and calculate like this. Okay, so the time complexity will be order of to the power n.